welcome to the Film Pulse Podcast. This is episode number 522. My name's Ed Patterson. With me today, we've got Kevin Rakestraw. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going all right. A little hectic on my end, but it's fun. It's a good kind of hectic. This week on the show, we're going to be talking about Christmas Eve in Miller's Point, which is available now on VOD platforms. We're also going over some of what we've been watching on the watch list and this week's new releases in theaters, VOD, and Blu-ray. Thank you so much for joining us this week. I think we can just hop on into our review. Again, we're talking about Christmas Eve in Miller's Point. This is directed by Tyler Taormina. I have a synopsis here. On Christmas Eve, a family gathers for what could be the last holiday in their ancestral home. As the night wears on and generational tensions arise, one of the teenagers sneaks out with her friends to claim the wintry suburb for her own. Kevin, we'll start with you. What were your initial impressions of Christmas Eve in Miller's Point?
Gotta say, initial impressions. Like, this was firing on all cylinders for me right off the bat. Like, it's kind of like a nostalgia type thing for me. Took me back. Mm-hmm. It just felt like the holidays with my family. You know, we'd go to the grandma's house, big ass family, all in one tiny little house. Just everyone talking, conversations everywhere. And just like the general vibe of this, just I think captures like Christmas with a big family in a small space perfectly.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really have that big of a family, so some of the nostalgia was lost on me in this, but you know, it was still there, especially because this takes place in, I don't know what year, like the early to mid 2000s, because you have like camera phones, but you don't have smartphones, at least from what I could tell. And you had some like the kid was playing an Xbox, like an original Xbox. So it definitely does take place, you know, at a time that I feel nostalgic for at this point. So it has that going for it too. It's like, to me, it reminded me of like just a longer version of the scenes in Home Alone where the family is all there, you know, like at the beginning, before the family leaves him. It's like a whole movie around that, where it's just a big house full of people and there's all kinds of stuff going on and people are talking over each other and we're getting like little bits and pieces of conversations. We're coming into a room and we're hearing an aunt and an uncle talking about something and someone, and we only get a little bit of it, but it's enough. It's enough to pique our interest.
Hell yeah. And for me, all of that, fantastic. Absolutely loved it. I just clicked with the overall vibe of this movie throughout that duration. Unfortunately, like the teenager kind of like escapes and we get kind of a quote unquote plot. It just kind of like slowly fell apart for me. I just like kind of lost interest as it went, especially because the teenager stuff just felt like kind of a rehash of his other movie, Aim on Rye, with like the teenage coupling when they're all like they all have their cars in that parking lot. Yeah. And they all start like coupling up and going their separate ways. It's just like, like you already did this movie.
I agree with you there, because I feel like when that happens, it sort of goes against the fundamental point of the movie itself. Like, we're leaving the family, you know, we're staying with the daughter, but we're leaving the rest of the family for the most part. And I feel like I completely agree. I feel like that detracts pretty heavily from the rest of the movie, because up until that point, you know, we were just kind of floating through this house and through the lives of these people, and we weren't really focused on any one person for an extended period of time. And then the fact that like we shift perspectives to the daughter, and we're introduced to all of her friends and everything, and it's just like, yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really into that either, which is unfortunate because I feel like up until that point, this movie, it was doing it for me.
Yeah.
Like you said, and I kind of had a feeling going into this because I did see some chatter on Letterboxd. People were just saying like, this is a vibes over plot movie. This is a movie all about vibes, and I completely agree with that. I don't need a plot in movies. In fact, a lot of times I don't even. I think movies without a plot are more interesting sometimes. So that didn't bother me. I can see how this movie would be. I don't know if boring is the word, but like not for a lot of people, just because of the sort of meandering pace of it. But it was hitting most of the right notes for me.
Yeah. And I think it was just like the timing of it too. It vibes based, but
Yeah, we're coming up.
decidedly Christmas.
Yeah,
Decidedly Christmas. You don't have a lot of like just no plot Christmas movies.
yeah, just pure Christmas. You
Just
got your
fucking hanging out. Just family hanging out.
nutcrackers, and you got your red and green M&Ms and sock
Oh
and
my god.
boppers.
Oh my god, red and green M&Ms. See that like that sparked a whole discussion with my wife last night. Why are they
Yeah,
better
like
than regular M&Ms?
they are.
Yep,
They truly are. And
they
it's
are.
always it's also interesting to me that like we always had a a bowl of red and green M&Ms, and I
Mhm.
guess that's like a very common thing, but that was kind of a surprise to me, that scene when they busted out the red and green M&Ms and poured them into the bowl,
And the
because
first
I was
thing you
like,
thought
holy crap, like my family does that.
that you just want to dip your hand in that.
Of course. Of
You just
course.
want to dip it and you want to feel them like tumble
Hmm.
from your palms, and it's just an incredible feeling.
Yeah.
Powerful. It makes you feel
Great
powerful and rich.
great looking food in this, just piggybacking off of the M&Ms, like they had quite a feast in
Oh,
this
there's
movie.
desserts. Yeah, that dessert spread.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And it was a really good, like I was vibing with the family. Like I liked the family. They were likable people. They had good chemistry with each other. I really enjoyed spending time with this family. But one of the interesting things about this movie is that I think that it really does a good job of capturing sort of both sides of what what a lot of people, I think, feel with Christmas, and it's sort of a bittersweet
Oh yeah,
event. You
definitely.
have, you're forging new memories with each passing year, and you're spending time with your family, and you're catching up, and you're playing games, and you're chatting, and maybe drinking, and just having a good time with your family. But it's also a time of sort of reminiscing and looking back, and remembering those in your family who are no longer around, and stuff like that. So I think that there's a reason that a lot of people end their lives around Christmas, because it's, as much as it is a happy celebration, it's also very sad in a lot of ways, because every year is going to be, well, not every year, but a lot, eventually the good times don't last forever. And it's kind of sadness that I think this movie does a really good job of accentuating, without really bringing the movie down to like a too much of a somber, depressing level. I think that it does a really good job of injecting that element into it, like multiple times. Like there are a lot of instances in this movie where it's like sad. It's just a sad movie at
Yeah.
times.
Oh
But
yeah.
like it's never like it's never overwhelming. It never bashes you over the head. It's never even overt. Like it's just like little subtle things that happen with this. And I really liked that. I thought that they did a really good job of that. And I don't see that in too many Christmas movies. Usually Christmas movies focus on the the joy of the season. You know, most Christmas movies are very lighthearted and try to capture the magic of the holidays and don't really explore, you know, some of the sad aspects of it. So huge props to them for handling that in such an effortless way.
Agree. 100% agree. The thing I just remembered is I think perhaps the funniest part of this movie for me is when they do the firefighter parade and that little kid just starts screaming.
Just screaming their head off. Yeah, I liked that. And man, that one guy, that was like the highlight of his life to be in that parade.
Yeah, that's what he wanted.
You have little, I would say, cameos by Michael Cera and Greg Turkington in here. Could have used more of them, honestly.
Yeah.
What we got? I liked what we got.
Their little sidebar monologue thing, it was the low point for me because it's just like, what are we doing?
It was ridiculous.
Like it doesn't.
It was absolutely ridiculous. It didn't need to be there. I liked the idea of, you know, cutting to them every once in a while throughout the movie, just checking in with them. But that whole scene when they had that conversation, I was just like, what? Why? Why is this occurring? Why are we doing this here? When for almost the entire movie, they didn't even speak.
Yeah. They should have kept it that way. I just liked when they arrested the dog. They just kept that.
Yeah. It's just that was a very odd choice, but I like to see them in here. I saw that Michael Cera is a producer on this movie. I think that, you know, it's a very indie movie. It feels like a very indie movie, and I think that the budget was probably fairly low. It doesn't look particularly amazing to me. It just looks slightly average, almost TV movie-esque, which is fine for a movie like this. You know, the setting is enough. You know, small town Christmas, like it nailed that aesthetic. So that's enough. I think that probably most of the budget was spent on music licenses because holy hell, there is so much music in this movie. It's almost constant. It might be constant, actually. I don't know. Like, there is just constantly music playing, and like it's just song after song after song. So I was really digging the soundtrack. Very, very Christmassy. Did a good job with the classic Christmas tunes. So I liked that as well.
This movie's almost borderline perfect up until a point.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I'd have to agree with you there. Anything else you want to add about Christmas Eve in Miller's Point?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I would say check it out. Just understand that what you're getting into here is a movie that just doesn't have much plot. You're just spending some time with this family, and it, you know, the interesting thing, one of the aspects of it is that the family is like pretty much a normal family. There's nothing crazy about this family. You know, like a lot of Christmas comedies, you have like just a wild and wacky family that's like all full of like dysfunction and crazy uncles and stuff like that. But this is like a pretty normal family. Like there's drama, there's some eccentricities here and there, but for the most part, like this is a pretty typical American family.
Yeah, nothing that you would normally make a movie about.
Yeah, but you know, it pretty much worked for the most part. All right, what are you going to give Christmas Eve in Miller's Point out of 10?
Oh, I'm going to give it like 7.5.
Nice. I'm at a 7 on this one. Again, that's on VOD. Check it out. All right, let's talk about some of what we've been watching. I believe it is your turn this week, Kevin.
Oh, we're going to stay with Christmas. Christmas Evil from 1980.
Hell yeah.
Lewis Jackson, who really didn't do anything else, it looks like.
Nope.
Except for the transformation, A Sandwich of Nightmares from 1974, which is porno of some sort.
Sexual film odyssey.
He got his kicks there and then decided to make a Christmas movie, which going
And
into
then
this,
retired.
and then just sailed off into the sunset. He had a mission. He said, "I'm gonna make one of the," because going into this, I was kind of expecting a horror movie. That's why I picked it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a horror movie, really, in any way, shape, or form. It's more of a like guy goes over the edge, like Taxi Driver, or what's the Michael Douglas one?
Falling Down.
Falling Down. It's like that, except that your main character is obsessed with Christmas and Santa, and he cosplays as Santa to a alarming degree, even before he loses it. I don't know if he really ever had it from the beginning of the movie, because he lost it pretty early in his life. And he embodies Santa. He wants to be Santa. And he's worked for this toy factory, and he just gets sick and tired of people losing the Christmas spirit. And he decides to do something about it, dresses up as Santa Claus, and you have him doing like two things at once, which is being Santa, delivering presents to kids, doing good things. And then the other half is killing people.
Mm-hmm.
Still a Santa Claus. And it's incredible.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this one. Highly recommend.
I was surprised that this is like a genuinely like good movie. I was kind of expecting like, oh, this is gonna be camp, it's gonna be kind of dumb and silly. And I was like, oh, this is like Taxi Driver with a ridiculous angle, and it works. Like the performance is great, but like Brandon Maggart is incredible.
Isn't this didn't maybe I don't know if they still own the rights, but I think Troma put this out at some point. Like I don't know if they acquired the rights later on, or maybe the home movie rights.
I could see that, because I think I do remember seeing, because this is on Tubi, by the way. Where else would it be?
Crackle. It's on Crackle.
Is it on Crackle?
Yeah. Tubi and Crackle.
Tubi, Crackle. Oh, you got it. It's on Crackle, Flix Fling, Fubo, Night Flight.
I feel like at least one of those was fake.
You would think, but it's not. But there's a new one, Screambox.
Oh, Screambox. I've heard of Screambox. It's similar to Shudder, but not as good.
It's not as good. And I bet you any money, everything that can be found on Screambox that you would pay for or try to watch in your 7-day free trial, they're all on Tubi or Crackle.
Yeah,
or
probably.
Flixfling.
It's also on Plex, so I feel like Plex is becoming another one that has a lot of random free movies. Cool, that's Christmas Evil from 1980. Check it out.
I just went real quick. I just clicked on Fubo. Fubo is $79.99.
Yeah, so
a month.
Fubo's that's like a TV service. That's like live TV.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah, so it's like Hulu Live TV or YouTube TV. One of those where you would have that instead of your cable provider to get your live sports and whatnot.
Gotcha. Fubo.
Yeah, I looked at them ages ago when I was looking for some sort of live TV, but I didn't want to do cable. Didn't go with them, but whatever. I saw Village of the Damned from 1995. John Carpenter.
All right. Yeah.
This is one of the few Carpenters that I never saw before. I don't know why. It just never appealed to me, the kids with the white hair. I don't know. It never just looked that good to me. And I gotta say, like, I do feel like it is one of Carpenter's lesser films. I still enjoyed it. It had almost a Stephen King vibe, where you have this small town feel like it's like steeped in Americana, and it starts off with everyone in this town suddenly passing out. Everyone faints at the same time, and people realize that, okay, if you go over this line basically into this town, you will pass out. And everybody wakes up So they pass out for like, I don't know, an hour, a few hours or whatever. And then they wake up and everybody's fine. Except all of the women in the town are now pregnant.
Oh
And
God.
yeah. And they all give birth at the same time to these devilish little white haired children. And it turns out that these children are kind of evil and they can,
Look at.
yeah, they can hypnotize you and they can make you do stuff. They can make you kill yourself.
Oh no.
Yeah, these kids are nasty. And it's okay. Like it starts off really intriguing, like with the passing out thing and like where that goes it is very interesting. But like the longer it goes on, the kind of less invested I became in it. It stars Christopher Reeve and Kirstie Alley. They're fine in it. They're all right. But yeah, that's really it. It's okay. You know, if you it's not Carpenter's worst, I don't think, but it's definitely on the kind of lower
Yeah.
end of his filmography. I never saw the original. This is a remake, by the way. I never saw the original from it was like 1960 or something.
Oh, those kids look even creepier. Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
God damn.
The original ones look more disturbing.
Okay. I watched A Night of the Dark Full Moon is what it's called on Letterboxd. The poster on Letterboxd says Silent Night, Bloody Night. So it's one of those bad boys. 1972. Trying to, again, going for a Christmas horror type thing. This also can be found on Cult Pix, FlixFling, MP, Voodoo, Plex, Tubi, Screambox, SX. And apparently there's a website called Public Domain Movies. Nice.
It looks like it's on Fandor too.
Fandor. I didn't even know Fandor was still a thing.
Neither did
I
I.
thought they went out of business. Why would you go to Fandor and pay for it when you can go to Public Domain Movies? Straight to the point.
Yep.
Wow. Incredible. I accidentally clicked on it. Probably have a virus now. This is... I watched this on Amazon Prime because I pulled it up on Tubi, and it's the Spanish version. It's dubbed.
I love that. Absolutely love that.
It's
That's happened to me before too.
I love when it happens.
There's absolutely no quality control at Tubi. It's
No,
like
they just upload shit.
They buy bundles of movies and just straight upload them. They don't even check.
They don't even check. And
God only knows what kind of horrific stuff is probably on Tubi.
There's got to be a dark Tubi with just like straight up snuff films on there. I wouldn't be surprised.
Neither would I.
This movie's a fucking mess. There's just copious amounts of voiceover narration from multiple people, from like multiple characters just throughout the movie, just constantly telling you things, which, as you can imagine, I hated with a passion. And it's about like the things that a man investigates the grisly crimes that occurred in a former insane asylum. That's not what happens. No one's investigating. The guy inherited the house and he wants to sell it. So he sends his lawyer. The lawyer shows up, goes to the mayor, and he's like, hey, we'll give it to you $50,000 cash. How about it? And they're like, I don't know. We hate this house. He stays at the house. He gets killed. Kicks off a whole thing. People start getting killed. There's dark secrets. And then at the end, they do the voiceover narration thing. Just go flashback and just tell you everything in excruciating detail. Boring as shit. And this story's fucked up beyond belief. It makes no goddamn sense. And just boring as shit. And I hated it.
That sucks.
Yeah. And
at least Mary Warnov's in it.
Yeah, very early. Very early. And I think she was married to the director, honestly. Theodore
Gershony.
Things you do for love, I guess.
All right. That's Night of the Dark Full Moon, aka Silent Night, Bloody Night.
Also, if you're looking for it on Tubi, Noche Sanioso, Noche Sangrienta.
Nice. Well, I only have one more because I've been in the middle of moving this week, so I haven't really watched too much lately. That's Bark. This is directed by Mark Scholerman. This is the same guy that did a movie called Pathology years ago, which I kind of forgot all about until I was watching this movie and then looked up the director and was like, oh yeah, Pathology. Stars the same guy from Pathology, Michael Weston. He's in a lot of stuff, and he often plays kind of a piece of shit. And that's pretty much what this movie is. It's about a guy who wakes up tied to a tree in the middle of the forest. Doesn't know how he got there. Doesn't remember anything. He's just very confused, and he's there for like a few days, just tied to this tree. And then suddenly, a camper shows up. A guy shows up. Seems to be like an outdoorsman type, and this guy may or may not know who this person is tied to the tree and why he's tied to the tree. It's okay. It's a slow burn. You know, I like these types of movies. People trapped in things, or these like sort of single location thrillers. It was on the verge of losing me pretty much the entire runtime, except the end. I feel like it comes together really nicely in the end. When all the secrets are revealed, I think is when it sort of came back around for me. I probably wouldn't recommend. I don't know if I would recommend it still, but maybe a light recommend, just because I feel like they did kind of stick the landing. Was a satisfying ending. I'll just say that. But yeah, I don't know. It's whatever. It's meh. And that's called Bark.
Mm.
Maybe Bark has a double meaning. I don't know.
Because the tree?
I do know that it has a double meaning.
Because it's the tree. Because it's tied to a tree. I have one left. And that's Nosferatu the Vampyre. This is the Werner Herzog version from 1979. And
yeah, I never saw this. Never saw this one.
You should. You should do it.
I know I should. It's like been on my list forever. But I don't know. I don't know why.
I tell you right now, like, it's not gonna wow you in like creepy sense or scary sense or anything along those lines. It's just gonna wow you in filmmaking terms, because it comes very apparent, like, when you haven't watched a movie from this era for that long by someone like Herzog, and you just see some things and you're just like, oh yeah, no one does this anymore.
Yeah, that's insane, isn't it? Like, when you see movies from this era, with these directors that are like these auteur directors that were like in their prime, and you're just like, holy shit, like nothing even compares.
Yeah, there's a sequence, right? Klaus Kinski, he purchases his home in the Wiedmar, and he has to get on a sailboat in order to get there. So he tricks the sailboat into having like all these coffins with rats, and he's in one of the coffins, and he slowly kills the crew as it's making its way there, right? And there's just so many scenes of just like, Herzog from a helicopter shooting this giant fucking massive sailboat sailing across the ocean. And you're just like, no one would do that now. Like, no one would rent out a massive fucking sailboat for their movie. You would just CGI that shit in.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to like where Bruno Gantz's character lives. There's like a canal that runs down the middle of the street. And it's just a fixed camera, empty canal, very quiet, except for the fantastic soundtrack. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, man, if he has that fucking sailboat just drift into this goddamn canal, I'm going to lose it. And sure enough, he does, because of course he does. He just has this massive fucking sailboat just come into the canal. And you're just like, no one would sign off on this. You wouldn't be able to do this anymore.
Yeah, I think it's time for me to catch up with this finally.
It's just like the filmmaking is just incredible. The locations, the lighting, the soundtrack, it's just It's all top notch.
Been in the mood for some real cinema.
Hell yeah! And plus, it's a good time with a new,
the new one
project coming out,
which I think looks pretty good. I'm pretty excited for it.
That's what kicked it off because I'm like, I kind of want to see the new one, but like you, this has been on my list for like 23 years.
Yeah,
it's like finally got to do it.
Looks like it's on Tubi and Crackle.
Oh, it's Tubi, Roku,
Amazon Prime,
Pandora,
Peacock.
Freevee, Fubo, Peacock, Plex, Pluto, Shout TV.
So many.
So many. It's not on the domain website. It's a bummer.
See, I feel like
it should
be one that would be on the free domain website, but maybe the original Nosferatu. Let's talk about what we have in theaters this week. We got Night Bitch coming out.
Oh, man.
Night Bitch, starring Amy Adams. This one isn't really doing it for me.
No, because there was an indie movie a couple years ago that's the same thing.
The exact same thing, yeah. Yep. We also have Y2K coming out, which I'm interested in. I don't think I'll see it in the theater, but I'm interested in that one. All right, VOD this week. We got Venom: The Last Dance. We got, yeah. I'll probably check that one out. I saw the first two, and they were entertaining enough. Like, I wouldn't say they're good by any means, but dumb fun, sort of. We got Heretic also. I'm interested in that one.
Is that the Hugh Grant?
Yeah.
I feel like, didn't this come out like ages ago?
In theaters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's just now hitting VOD. Dirty Angels. We got Goodrich. That's the one with Michael Keaton. We got The Activated Man. Utopia. Got The Soul Eater.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Soul Eater.
That's
chowing down. Kind of a cool mask. I might check that one out. I don't know. Look into that. I don't know who directed that, but I'll look into it. What Lurks Beneath? We got Mud Brick. It's Not Me. That's old Leo's Cracks.
Okay.
Big Dick Dynamite, 1944, which is one of those like modern grindhouse type movies. Looks pretty not great. Filthy Animals. We got Young Werther.
Please tell me. Please.
That it's about the Werther's original person. It's not, but
no.
What were you hoping that it was about?
I hope it's based on the classic book.
Let's see.
But it doesn't look like it.
It is about a young novelist.
Maybe it is. That would be ridiculous. No.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like a rom-com. Endless Summer Syndrome. Fly, which is FLY. What is that? Oh, I don't even care. A Brooklyn Love Story. And Forever Mine. So not a whole lot.
No,
sir. Here. I mean, I'll definitely be checking out Heretic and maybe Venom, but as far as like new stuff, not a whole lot. Let's see what's coming out on Netflix this week. We got Carry On. This is the one with Taron Egerton. And I believe that Jason Bateman plays like a terrorist or something, or
oh my goodness,
I don't know what it
character.
Yeah, I don't know if he's like a killer or a terrorist or like what his deal is. But Taron Egerton plays like a TSA agent or something, and there's like Jason Bateman needs to get a bag through or something, and I don't know.
Thrilling. Absolutely thrilling.
You know what? I'll probably check it out. It doesn't look horrible. It looks like your typical Netflix thing. We also have Maria coming out on Netflix, starring Angelina Jolie. This is the new one from Pablo Larraín. On Hulu this week, we got Sugarcane coming out. What is this? A stunning tribute to the resilience of Native people and their way of life. Oh, it's a documentary, it looks like.
I like how you said that with a question mark.
It wasn't
Is
intended.
that what it is?
No. It is a documentary. I did not intend it to be a question.
Because if it was a question, you nailed it. That's exactly what it's about.
Yeah, no. Blu-ray this week. We got Riddick coming out in 4K. We got Willow from 1988. Silent Night, Deadly Night from 1984, getting a 4K release.
Okay, nice.
The Addiction from 1995 is coming out in 4K. I recommend that one. That was a good one. Arrow's putting that one out. They previously released that. Now this is just like the 4K version. Rock and Roll High School from 1979. Requiem for a Vampire, 4K. This looks like it's like 2 movies, maybe. The Beast, that's from last year.
Yeah.
You know, I tried to watch that, and it was so boring to me that I had to just stop. I had to stop watching it.
I love that. That's what you had to say, and you started it with a yawn.
Yeah. Yes.
Just even thinking about that movie.
Even thinking about The Beast made me yawn. I couldn't do it. It's a sci-fi film, but man, I don't know. It was not hitting the right notes for me, I'll tell you that. The Giant Spider Invasion from 1975.
Oh boy.
Now that one might be hitting the right notes for me. We got The Escapees from 1981. We got Men of War from 1994. Is that adult? Yeah, that's a Dolph Lundgren. That's part of the MVD Rewind collection. Let's see. What is this? Horrible History. 4 historical epics by Chang Ke. Got Marco Polo, The Pirate, Boxer Rebellion, 4 Riders. This is part of the Eureka Classics edition. The Last Video Store from last year. We got Rambling Rose from 1991. The Block Island Sound from 2020. The Roundup Punishment. That's the newest one.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't think I finished that, actually. The Soul Eater, which is...
Eating Souls.
That's coming out on VOD as well, so take your pick there. That's pretty much it. What about Criterion's this week?
We got 2. We got 8.5. Fellini's 8.5. Getting that 4K upgrade. And then No Country for Old Men. Getting a 4K.
I think both of those were previously released, right?
Yeah, which is kind of the bummer thing now with these 4Ks. Like, all these releases are just like, we already have it. We're just
it. I mean,
like, okay, cool.
Like I get it. Like it's good that they're doing it. It's good that they are upgrading them to the 4K, but it's just people who collect home media. It's such a complicated endeavor these days because it's like, oh, okay, yeah, they're releasing this on 4K, but like, is it a 4K transfer? Like what did they do with this? Is it just like being upscaled? You know what? There's just so many variables now.
Yeah, like, are you like you got to sit there and weigh that option? Like, should I upgrade these things? Yeah,
like you got to do research to figure out if you should get a 4K version of a movie you already have. But anywho, I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for listening, and send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. And if you could, consider giving us a review on iTunes, that'd be great. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson, and we'll see you next week.